Hey everybody, so I'm back again with another recap of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Y'all, this week's episode was a roller coaster of emotions. So I'm going to try to go through the couples as quickly as I can and try to not make this be an hour-long recap because I don't like super long recaps. So yeah, let's just get into it. And I'm also going to briefly discuss the 1 hour 90 day live that happened immediately following the episode. I'm not going to talk about that a lot, but I will talk about it briefly. So yeah, I got my tea because it has been a day. And I'm already like getting in relaxed mode and the sun has not even set yet. But let's get into this recap. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Marta and Daya and get them out of the way because, honey, child, I don't know what TLC is doing with this couple. I don't understand why they're here. I don't understand what is this. Like, Daya is in the gym working out and her friend comes to work out with her and she says she met her at work. Y'all, I swear this girl, whoever her friend was, I think it was like Kara or something, Kristen. She looked like a kindergarten teacher. I was like, is this girl a stripper too? Because the stripping business must be just sparse in Milwaukee. The pickings are slim. She looked like she literally taught 5-year-olds. But she said she knew her from work. I don't know what work she was talking about. I'm assuming dancing, but this girl did not look like a dancer. But anyway, so they're discussing all the stuff that's going on with her. Of course, she has booked her flight, but she did not realize that you need a visa to travel to Algeria, not just a passport. And you also have to get the person that you're visiting to write a letter on your behalf and send it to the Algerian consulate in New York City before you can come. She FaceTimed Daya last week to try to get him to do it. He said he would, but then he got mad at her wearing the cross. And child, we don't know if the letter has been written, typed, I don't know what. This girl needs to end this. This is stupid. This is dumb. She think he gonna write her that letter. Because he not finna write her no letter. Daya, once he hung up that phone from her, I think that's the last time we're going to see him, honestly. I don't think we're going to see this boy again. I think that he was trying to maybe get to America and then just got irritated with her in the whole process. She's never going to go over there. He's not going to write that letter. Her time is going to run out. She already bought her plane ticket, so she has a deadline. She's not going to meet it. And she's going to lose money on this flight she already booked. And then she's going to try to probably go back. But I don't see it happening, honestly. I don't think that she's ever going to leave Milwaukee to go over there. This boy is not about to write her no letter. What else do you want me to say? I mean, Marta said that she's having a really hard time convincing her family that Daya is a good man and he's a family man. And my whole thought when she was saying that was, is he? How do you know this? What has he done to show you that he's a good man and that he's a family man? Y'all can't even speak the same language for real. The conversation that they had, she has to type stuff out on Google Translate and hold it up in front of the screen. So y'all haven't had any in-depth conversations. Like, you don't know this man. You have not gotten to know his character. So to me, for you to even say that he's a good man and a family man to bring in to help you raise your kids is stupid. You don't know him. You have no idea what kind of person this is. You don't know him and he don't know you. I don't even know why this is continuing. I don't know why we're filming her. I don't know if she's trying to be an actress or something. I don't get it, TLC, but we can really do away with them altogether and go back to the original 6. I don't see the point of this. That's it for Marta and Daya. Let's move on to the next couple. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and get into Jesse and Darcy. So I'll just kind of recap both because I did forget them last week. I saw some people were commenting and saying they thought that maybe I did that on purpose. I actually did not. That was an accident. We had 7 couples and I guess I'm so used to having 6 as I was counting them off. I forgot. So I wrote them down this time so I wouldn't forget anybody. But I'm going to go back and kind of double up because they really weren't doing nothing for real. So I can recap both episodes in a reasonable amount of time. So let's get into them. Okay, so Jesse has decided that he is going to end things with Darcy. And he keeps alluding to something that has happened and occurred that he found out about Darcy. And that was like the last straw for him. And I know exactly what he's talking about, even though he has not said what it is. He's trying to be all sneaky and secretive. I know he's talking about the fight that she had with Stacy in the street, honey, when they had the police called and everybody got arrested and all that and whatnot. He says that he wants to be a stand-up guy and come to break up with her to her face. My thing is, if she has no idea that the breakup is coming, it's really actually more hurtful to you to travel all that way and then break up with her to her face. That's not a stand-up thing to do. And I think Jesse knows this. I think he's doing it for the drama factor, for the just to be extra, because he's basically a woman. He's so dramatic and extra and theatrical and just whatever. And so he comes to New York. Darcy has to travel from Connecticut to New York to meet Jesse. So honey, she gets done up to get on this train and ride to New York. She puts on her white dress, her white dog sheep, whatever material that was, because it was not fur, I'll say sheep coat. And she hops on the train with all her luggage, honey. She had so many bags. Darcy had suitcases, purses, carry-ons. I'm like, Darcy, the man just came to be like, I don't know if she thought this was like going to be a romantic getaway. Darcy thinks that she's about to get proposed to. Darcy put on her white dress. She got her hair done, her teeth refitted. She probably got a little Botox, honey, to snatch those wrinkles out, because she thinks that they're about to take engagement pictures in this park, wherever they're meeting at. She really doesn't have a clue that she's about to get dumped, which is really, really sad that she got all done up and did all the extra stuff just to get dumped, because she thinks that a proposal is coming. She says that he decided to meet her at a park, and they used to always go to parks together in Amsterdam. So she thinks that this is a significant place in our relationship for him to propose. She's just got all this whimsy on her mind. And I'm like, girl, you are in for the shock of your life. The whole time, you know, setting up to them meeting, Jesse's just talking about how done he is with her. Darcy's talking about how optimistic she is about her love. It's just two totally different sides of a story that we're seeing, and it's a hot mess. So this episode, they finally come together and they meet up at the park, and Darcy is acting all lovey-dovey and, hey baby, with her 47 bags and rolling up with all this luggage, and Jesse's like, why do you have so many bags? Do you want to go to the hotel first and put your stuff down? Because I didn't know you was coming with all these things. Darcy was expecting a proposal, so the minute Jesse suggests they go to the hotel, she's immediately heartbroken and starts crying, because she realizes he's not here to propose and he's here for something else. And I think it kind of clicks in her mind that it's probably about to be over with. She starts crying. Jesse tries to console her. He's being overly sweet to me, which was misleading. Like, I feel like he was misleading her up to the very end. Like, I would expect him to be real cold. They're about to break up. He was still being sweet, calling her baby. Don't do all the extra stuff. You about to break up with this girl. Why? I get in the car, and, you know, Darcy is being real passive aggressive because she's upset that the proposal that she wanted didn't happen. And, you know, finally, Jesse just comes out with it and starts talking about the stuff that she was doing. Darcy gets mad and starts basically saying, why are you discussing things that went on with my family? Here's my thing. You know, she kind of has a point. Like, what does her fighting with her sister have to do with their relationship? It really doesn't have anything to do with their relationship. But at the same time, the fact that he's finding out that you, like, the police were called and you have, like, a record that I can look up, that's a little ratchet, you know? And it's his prerogative. If he says, I don't want to date a girl who has that kind of reputation. I don't want to date a girl who was brawling with her sister in the street and the police were called. That's his choice. If he don't want to fool with a girl that does things like that, he can very well say, you know, you're a little too ratchet for me. I thought you were classy. I see that you're not. This is not going to work. So the fact that she was kind of offended by him saying he had a problem, I'm like, you got into a fight with your sister and the police were called. Like, don't try to act like this was just some little argument. Like, if the police were called, that's kind of a big deal, Darcy. So I didn't like how she was trying to downplay it. I feel like she should have just owned up to it and been like, it was a mistake. You know, things got out of hand. Jesse keeps referring to Darcy's alcohol problem. I just feel like she just likes to drink wine probably after a long day or with dinner. I don't think Darcy has a drinking problem. I think Jesse's just grasping at straws because he want to break up with her. And she promised him last season that she would quit drinking and she didn't. And so he's using that against her now. Who cares? Whatever. So, you know, then the theatrics begin. Darcy is all distraught and wants to stop the cab and get out on the street. She's snatching her bags out of the back and screaming down the street, "You're a liar!" And it was so theatrical. It was like a soap opera. She had on this dog sheep coat, these Louboutins that she could barely walk in. She was just tipping down the street, honey. Had to get all 48 of her bags out of the back of that cab and try to hail another cab. It was a mess. Good riddance to them. It looks like next week they still did not part ways, because I see another scene with them arguing. I'm like, why are y'all still speaking to each other? It's over. I'm so tired of Jesse and Darcy. I just want to be done with them. Like, I really want to be done. Let's move on to the next couple. Next is Angela and Michael. So this episode, Angela and Michael are basically trying to reignite the fire of love in their relationship. So Michael is planning all these wonderful little dates for Angela, and he is trying to convince her that he is the one for her and that she should bring him to America so he can meet Donald Trump. So the first romantic date that he takes her on is to, I think, Mount Olobo. I might be saying this completely wrong. I can't remember the name he said, but it's this really big rock. And it has a lot of stairs and you have to climb all the way up to the top. And Angela was huffing and puffing, but Michael was too. So they're kind of kindred spirits with that, because they're not quite like Nicole and Asin, because Michael is not in like stellar shape. So they were kind of on the same wavelength there. It was real cute. He was showing her some of the African culture and history. I thought that was real nice. It was a nice place to take her so she could actually get out and see some things around Nigeria. Very beautiful. Next scene with them was they went out to lunch, I think, and you know, they were discussing what his life would possibly be like in America. And you know, Angela was saying that she was just worried that he wasn't going to be content there because her life is boring. I mean, her life is taking care of her grandkids and arguing with Scotty, and it's the same thing every day, and it's rural Georgia, and it's nothing, no big city life, no hustle and bustle. It's very slow, and it's very different from his life in Nigeria. And she wants to know, is he going to be okay with that? And of course, you know, Michael, it voices a few concerns. You know, he knows where he's going, but the ultimate goal is still the same: to get to America by any means necessary. And at the end of the day, if he doesn't like it in Georgia, he can easily do like Luis did to Molly and start acting a fool, so she will put him out and then he can move off and go live somewhere else in America. So, you know, Michael just wants to get there. He's just trying to convince her to take him with her or to bring him over there. Everything else be darned, just bring me there, girl. So Angela kind of hems and haws a little bit here and there about how, you know, she's not sure, but then she stops and thinks about it and basically says that, you know, he has proven himself and he has showed her that he is the one, and that he's probably not scamming her, and that he really does love her, and that they're going to work out together in America. So then Angela does the most southern old lady move in the world and reaches into her bra, her sweaty. Can you imagine how sweaty that little American flag was that she pulled out of her bra? Because they had been walking around all day. Like, it was probably just soaked with sweat. Like, I mean, he probably could have wrung it out. But anyway, so she pulls the sweaty American flag with the ring inside out of her bra and throws it at Michael. It was the most romantic proposal I've ever seen. She just tosses it to him and says, here's your American flag because you're coming to America, baby. And Michael is a little confused. He doesn't know quite what she means by that. What you talking about? And then he opens that American flag and sees that ring in there. And that boy, I ain't seen Michael smile that much this whole season. Michael was giddy with excitement about not marrying Angela, about coming to America. And you know what I thought was funny was that Angela didn't say, will you be my husband? Will you be my partner? Will you come join lives with me? Something of that effect. She literally told him, you're coming to America. Like, that was her proposal. Her proposal was, you're coming to America, baby. Here's your ring. So I'm like, so you know why he doing this then? Like, why did we go through all of this whole, he might be scamming me, he only wants to get to America, I don't know if I can trust you. Why do we go through all of that when you clearly know why he's doing this? Because you said you're coming to America. That lets me know right there. Angela know the game. Angela know what's up. So that to me irritated me, because I was like, we just went through a whole 8 episodes of her unsure about him, when actually she knows the game. She knows why he's with her. She knows he's with her because he wants a green card. These two, Lord, they really think that their love is gonna last. They really think they're gonna make it. Whatever. This is a train wreck, a disaster just waiting to happen. I'm just waiting for it to go wrong. And then in a just stroke of surprise, Michael gets up and he gets down on one knee and he pops open a ring box and he proposes to Angela. And Angela was shocked, honey. I was shook and shocked. I did not expect that. They got me with that one. I did not expect him to propose to her, but he did, honey. He pulled out that cubic zirconia and he plopped it right on her hand, and they got both down on their knees and hugged, and it was just so pitiful. It was just pitiful. It really was. But that's it for Angela and Michael. So best of luck to them in their future endeavors. Let's move on to the next couple. Next is John and Rachel. So Rachel and Lucy are packing up and getting ready to go over to England so that Rachel can marry John. And once again, Lucy is just the cutest baby on the plane. She is just, you know, clapping her hands and saying mama and sleeping and just, oh, Lucy's just the best. And get to England, they land, and guess who's at the airport to pick them up? Yep, you guessed it, Johnny boy. John is at the airport, honey, and I couldn't be happier. I think maybe he needed to like get to know Rachel a little bit before he actually decided he was gonna go pick her up. I don't know why he didn't pick her up the first time, but he seems to have had no trouble getting to the airport the second time because he went and picked her up. And, you know, they see each other across the walkway, and John takes off his book bag to go over and give Rachel a hug. I don't know why he took his book bag off, because first of all, it looked like it was empty the way it fell to the ground. Second, it's a book bag. It's on your back, so it's not gonna stop. Anyway. And then they hop in the car and, you know, they're driving and to the little cottage that they're staying at for the week while they plan the wedding. Rachel keeps alluding to something that she found out about John. And I said to myself, look, if he gave the girl a BJ on her way home, I'm just going to stop watching this show because I cannot. I want to bring up this issue immediately because, you know, they're happy to see each other and they're having a good time. And she doesn't want to stir the pot just yet. She's going to hold off a little bit. So they're riding in the car and, you know, John starts talking about the people that he's invited to the wedding. And of course, Rachel has no friends there. It's basically Rachel and Lucy and all of John's family and people he knows. And so he says, well, I didn't want it to be a bunch of dudes there, so I invited a girl. And Rachel's like, what girl? And I'm like, uh-oh. Please let it be a cousin. Please let it be a cousin. And John was like, oh, it's my ex-girlfriend. I was like, no, John, no, John. John is so slow. John is constantly telling on himself. Like, he's honest to a fault. Like, he's that childlike, slow honesty where you're telling on yourself and you don't even realize it. Like, first of all, why would you invite your ex to your wedding? Unless Rachel knows this girl and she is one of your best friends and you already told her about it, Rachel's met her and she cool with the girl, you don't just spring exes up at your wedding, John. Come on, that's dating 101. Rachel is insecure already. You know this. Why would you invite your ex? And he said it like it was nothing. And Rachel immediately is already just on 10. And so they're discussing the ex, and somehow Rachel tells him turn left. He misses it because they were just talking about his ex. And of course, his brain can't process information that quickly. And he got discombobulated, honey, and he missed his turn and he just goes off. And he starts cussing at Rachel. And I almost came through the TV on him because I just felt like he was being extra disrespectful for no reason. Like, you don't have to cuss at her. Like, I understand you're frustrated because she asked you about your ex, but you brought that up. Okay, so I don't know who you're speaking to, sir, because you can pull over and I can get out of this car and call an Uber and go back home. That he was raising his voice at her. I don't play that. Like, don't raise your voice at me. Nope. No, we can talk, but no. Like, and it wasn't even nothing to be heated over. Like, I could see if it was like a real like thing to be upset about. Like, you missed your turn. Okay, go down to the next one. Like, that anger is still there, and I hope that, you know, Rachel is keeping her and Lucy safe because clearly John has not taken care of his anger issues. He promised that he wasn't going to be bashing no more faces in, but honey, it's not looking good for the home team at this point, and I don't trust his temper. I saw a little glimpse of it this episode, and I was not impressed. John and Rachel decide to have the discussion about the information that Rachel found out, and it turns out that John gave Rachel all his passwords to social media, so Rachel logged into them and keeps them logged in, and so she saw a notification and didn't realize it was his profile and not hers. So she just clicked on it because it popped up from some girl and opened it. And it was a conversation between John and his ex-girlfriend. And John is basically going back in time and telling this girl how much he regrets how he treated her back when they dated. He's telling her how much he did really love her and that he hates that he acted the way he did. Rachel is heartbroken by this. She is disheveled, discombobulated, and discomforted by the fact that he is telling this girl that he loved her. Now, here's my thing with the whole Rachel and the whole he shouldn't use the word love. Girl, you think you the only person that he gonna love? You think you're the only person that he's ever loved in his entire life? Like, you think, see, this is what I don't get with Rachel. She wants somebody who don't have no past. Like, you know how hard it's going to be to find somebody who was never in love with somebody before? And, you know, I don't necessarily think that the conversation was inappropriate because he said that the rest of the conversation was him talking about Rachel and how he's getting married. and he was apologizing to the girl. The girl was talking about how hurt she was and how he had treated her, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like he was running game. He said he loved her, past tense, which he probably did. And I'm like, Rachel, this man had a whole life before he met you. You got to get over that, baby girl. Like, I don't understand why she wants him to never have had sex with people, never have had a sexual indiscretion, never have loved somebody before her, or say that he loved somebody. Like, girl, let that go. He's marrying you. He's here with you. Do you see any evidence of him meeting up with this girl? Did they say, let's meet for coffee or anything that looked suspicious? No, he apologized for his behavior in the past. He's basically saying, hey, look, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm sorry I treated you like that. I loved you. You were a great girl. You didn't deserve that. If I saw my man saying that to some girl that he used to date, I'd be like, dang, I'm glad I got him now and not back then. I would be thankful for the man that he's become, that he is grown enough and man enough that he can admit that he was effed up back in the day and that he treated this girl wrong and that I'm getting to marry this new man. Like, that's how I would look at it. But that's just me. Rachel and her insecure behind just want to make a fight where there is none. Rachel, honey, baby girl, let that go with them raggedy jeans and that same sweater on. Girl, if you don't let this go, Rachel get on my nerves, y'all. But that's it for John and Rachel. Let's move on to the next couple. It's Tariq and Hazel. So I need to make a quick correction. So last week I said in my recap that Tariq did not say I love you back to Hazel, and actually he did. So thank you to every single person who corrected me and caught that slip. That was me just forgetting the episode, honestly, because I watched it on Sunday night and filmed on Thursday morning, and I honestly just forgot that part. So forgive me. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to take better notes so that I can remember every little detail so that I can give you guys accurate recaps. Bad on that one. But Tariq did tell Hazel he loved her back. It was very delayed, and it was kind of questionable, like I love you too, but he did say it. So this week Tariq and Hazel are still on their little getaway vacation, and they're having this little romantic lunch or whatever, I don't know, on the beach. And Hazel drops a bomb on Tariq that her sister, who lives in Japan and is married to a man who has many coins, honey, wants Hazel to come over and marry another man in Japan who has many coins as well. Basically, Hazel's sister does not like Tariq because she doesn't think that he has enough money to make Hazel's life better. He got a little American coin, but I got this good Japanese coin over here, honey. You need to come over and get this. Taken aback, he is shook. And he doesn't know what to think. And Hazel's basically trying to kind of reassure him, even though she's not doing a great job. I almost thought she was going to go be with the Japanese man. How she was talking, I wasn't sure. And so, you know, she's trying to reassure him that she likes him and wants to be with him, and she's not going to go be with the Japanese man. And he wants to know why the sister wants him to be with this man, and she's like, because he has money. I'm like, yeah, that's Hazel's endgame, whoever. If it don't work out with you, I guarantee you she'll be on the horn with the Japanese man within 24 hours. Hazel and Tariq go back to their hotel, and they decide that they're going to FaceTime Tariq's daughter, Aria, who is with her mother, Rosita, right now. And so he gets on the phone, and he starts to dial Rosita's number, and it's just ringing and ringing and ringing, and nobody answers. Honey, you know, Tariq's just like, well, that's okay. You know, you don't have to meet my daughter. I've met you. I know you're a great woman, and my ex-wife doesn't need to know anything about you. And Hazel's like, I thought the point of this was for me to meet your daughter, and so that they can know that, you know, our relationship is progressing, and if I'm going to be a good second mother to her. And basically Tariq drops the bomb that Rosita nor Aria know anything about Hazel, and Hazel is hurt by this, and I would be too. And his reason for it was real weak. He basically said that the reason why he hasn't told his ex-wife about Hazel is because she uses everything against him for custody battles. They have been battling over custody of their daughter since they broke up, and he doesn't want to give her any more ammunition to her case. And here's my thing, Tariq. Like, let's think this through, baby boy. If you have a spiteful ex who uses everything you do against you, supposedly you say they don't want to see you happy. That's what he said. They don't want to see me happy. She don't want to see you with another woman, right? Okay. You go out and get another woman anyway from another country, and you don't tell her anything about it. And you just pop up one day with a whole new wife, a whole new woman in the house that's supposed to be in there with her child. You think she's going to be cooperative then? Like, you think she's going to cooperate after you just pop up with a whole new wife? and mother for her child, this black woman about to make Tariq's life a living hell, and she should, because this is stupid. How are you gonna bring some woman into my daughter's life that I've never met? No, 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 no. That's not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly. I can tell you right now, that strong black woman is about to put a hard stop to this right here. Tariq, you need to let the mother of your child know who's going to be living in the house with her baby. Point blank, period. Ain't no secret mamas. Like, what? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And how dare you try to sneak attack this woman with some new stepmama? That's not right, and that's not fair. How would you feel if she popped up with some Jamaican brother all of a sudden and was like, oh yeah, he about to be Arya's stepdad? You would not be cool with that. You'd be like, I've never met this man. I've never even spoken to him. This woman has never even face chatted with Hazel. So the fact that he's trying to say that, oh, I'm hiding you because it's going to be a custody fight. No, it's going to be a bigger fight when she finds out that this girl is your fiance and you're trying to bring her to America to live with her child. You in for the fight of your life, sir. So fast forward to a little bit later in this episode where Tariq and Hazel are walking along the beach. I don't know if it's cool, but Hazel is fully dressed hunting with jeans and full shirt on, like it's breezy out there. They're talking about, you know, I don't even remember what they were talking about, but Tariq mentioned that he felt like, you know, Hazel may have been pressuring him to propose, and that was the whole reason why, you know, she may have brought up the whole Japanese husband possible thing, was to kind of make him jealous, I guess, and push him to be like, hey, I got options. Like, if you want this, you need to move quickly. And I was like, dude, you brought the ring to the Philippines with you. So how is she pressuring you to propose? Like, you pressuring you. This is not Hazel. Like, you did this all on your own. Ain't nobody make you do this. I guess he's made up in his mind that he's going to propose to her. And so he awkwardly pulls out his fake Dre beat speaker and, you know, starts playing some music. He's like, oh, let's listen to some beach music. And I'm like, you're not sitting. Like, this is awkward. This is a strange moment, because most time when people listen to music on the beach, they've got a blanket, they got an umbrella, they're chilling, like they're just walking. Like, you want me to walk and hold this speaker? That to me was the first clue that this was about to be a real awkward and strange moment. And it definitely was, because the song starts to play, and then all of the matching plaid shirt, hat, the whole wanna be a R&B artist thing starts to make sense. I told y'all a little while ago that Tariq thinks that his like brain is stuck. He thinks he's Belle Biv DeVoe or something. I don't know what, but he says he likes to do music, whatever that means. And he wrote Hazel a rap. Jesus, this was the most awkward. It was so awkward because it's clear that Hazel doesn't listen to this type of music. This is not her vibe. This is not her scene. And she's just standing there awkwardly while the song is playing, talking about his story and how he fell in love with her and came to the Philippines. And she's standing there looking just awkward, like she wants to just sink into the sand and bury herself. Like she would want to be anywhere else other than here listening to this rap. But nevertheless, she is. And the song ends with, pack your bags, you're going to Virginia Beach. It was, that rap. It was so terrible. It sounded like he recorded it on his phone. And not even like an iPhone 10. It sounded like he recorded it on like an LG View. He sounded like he recorded it on the Samsung G5. Like a phone that you, like, who they make that? Like, that's what it sounded like he recorded the song on. I don't know who he got the beat from, but he needs to get his money back. It was just bad, bad, bad. It was awful. It was the worst way to propose to somebody, if you ask me. But nevertheless, he pulls out the ring and gets down on one knee and asks Hazel, will she marry him? And Hazel is in shock, I guess. I don't know why Hazel paused for so long. I think she was surprised that he was actually proposing. I don't think she thought he was actually going to propose on that first trip. But that's all she's been talking about is, I'm not going to do nothing till he proposed to me. We not going to be nothing till he proposed to me. I'm not kissing him because he ain't proposed to me. We not having sex because he ain't proposed to me. And now he's actually proposing to you and you looking stupid. She pauses for about 6.5 minutes. And then she finally says, yes. Tariq was excited. They had a little interview afterwards and she was still looking scared and awkward. And in her confession about herself later, they ask her, you know, does she really love Tariq? And is she, you know, excited about marrying him or something like that. And she pauses for about 30 seconds and then finally says, yes. That's her answer for everything. Hazel, do you love Tariq? Yes. Hazel, are you happy about the engagement? Yes. Hazel, are you excited about leaving the Philippines and moving to America? Yes. Hazel, are you excited that your family is going to have money now and they don't have to live in that one room shack anymore? Yes. Hazel, are you excited that you could possibly get your son back now that you're marrying a rich American? Yes. It's like, it doesn't matter what you ask her. There's like, it's like that. I'm like, does she have flat affect? Like, what's the matter? Like, what's with the emotion? I mean, there's none. There's nothing there. There's no substance to this woman, and that bothers me. Tariq loves her and whatever. Let's move on to the next couple. So next is Ricky and Jimena. So we pick up with Ricky and Jimena. They're kind of on the mend to making up with their relationship. Jimena is still salty about the whole Melissa thing, and she wants Ricky to make it up to her by doing a whole fake scene where he says he can't swim and then he jumps in the water and then swims to the side and gets out. I could have done without that whole scene. I feel like it was set up by the TLC producers or set up by somebody. It was fake and I could have really done without it. Fast forward later, Ricky has planned this whole wonderful dinner on the middle of some water with Jimena. And, you know, even though I don't like Ricky and I do still think he's a sleazeball, he has planned some pretty amazing dates. They went on a boat ride to a romantic island. I can't talk because ain't nobody ever took me on a boat ride to no romantic island and then proceeded to tell me about how he was talking to some other girl right before he met me and brought me to the island. But anyway, I've never had dinner on top of a river or wherever they were. It's been very luxurious. Ricky has his ring. Lord, there was so much cubic zirconia being thrown around in this episode. I was like, Lord Jesus. I mean, just all the fake diamonds. Just bring them all. Ricky gets down on one knee and didn't work with Melissa. She's so much better than her and he loves her and will you marry me? And she says yes. And I was like, okay, whatever, you know. I mean, I don't know how they get engaged after knowing each other legitimately for like 6 days. I don't understand how this love works. I don't know this kind of love. I don't understand it. I don't know it. I don't know nothing about love after 6 days, but best of luck to them in their future endeavors. I really don't have much else to say about this couple. I mean, I really feel like Ricky is doing something shysty and I feel like he's just inserting woman here. I don't feel like he really, I mean, Jimena does seem like a nice girl and she does seem like she is doing what she needs to do to get the green card, but I don't feel like Ricky genuinely understands what love is. You know, he acted like he was all nervous when it was time to propose. And I'm like, sir, you've been married twice. You're a proposal professional. Like, this should be easy for you. No, I don't feel like he really loves him, and I feel like he's just in a rush to be with somebody, so he just gonna propose to her. He just want to bring anybody into his daughter's life, apparently. I don't understand it. But, you know, whatever, they engaged now. And, you know, we'll see what happens in the next episode with these two. But let's move on to the last couple. Last is Paul and Karine. Child, I'm going to tell y'all, Paul and Karine, they got me this episode. They got my behind and they got me good because I'm usually really good about reading a storyline. I'm usually the storyline queen. I can tell you just about what's going to happen in everybody's storyline. From episode 1, I can tell you what's going to happen in the season finale. And Paul and Karine just blew me for a loop. I was not expecting this at all. So I'm not even going to recap what happened. So basically, real quick, Paul and Karine went back to the hospital because Karine was having pain. Something wasn't right. They found out that she actually miscarried the baby in this episode, which is crazy because I feel like they just found out she was pregnant. And here's my issue with the whole Paul and Karine thing. I need dates. I need dates and a solid timeline on when they got married, when she popped up pregnant, when she miscarried the baby. Because when they were in the hospital doing the ultrasound, the baby was like formed. Like you could see the head and the body and everything. So I'm like, okay, just last week she was 4 weeks pregnant. Now she's so far along that her baby is fully, because when you're 4 weeks pregnant, your baby is a bean. A bean. When I say bean, a peanut. Okay, it's not, no, you don't see no head, no fingers, no nothing. It's literally a bean at 4 weeks. It is nothing. It's not even a fetus yet. It's like a fertilized egg. And so the fact that she got this ultrasound done and there's like a fully formed baby in there, I'm like, okay, these timelines ain't matching up. And y'all mean to tell me, so they said that it was 9 weeks from the time that, you know, the baby miscarried itself. And they said it was a genetic thing. They said it wasn't anything that Paul or Karine did to hurt the baby. It was just something was wrong and the pregnancy terminated itself. And that's nature's way of kind of taking care of if the baby was going to be deformed or something like that. And it's terrible and it's sad, but it happens, and it happens to a lot of women, and it's very common. A lot of women miscarry in their first pregnancies. I'm like, so we're jumping a whole month between episodes? Like, is this how their timeline has been going? Because so from the time they got married to the time she went to the doctor, was it a month? Like, is that what they're trying? So every episode we watch Paul and Karine, a month has elapsed. Like, I find that hard to believe. Like, that's strange to me. And y'all know I said last week, I don't believe that she was 4 to 5 weeks pregnant when they did that test. I just don't believe it. I mean, I don't know if they told a doctor to say, I don't know. But I don't think that Karine was 4 weeks pregnant with her stomach sticking out that far and showing that much. I saw some of you saying that she was pregnant with twins, and no, wrong. We saw the ultrasound as one baby in there. So her stomach should not be that big after 4 weeks with the first pregnancy, and she's a slender girl. Second, this week they were saying that she was 9 weeks pregnant. I still stand behind 12 to 14 weeks. I really think she was about 3 months pregnant. I don't think that she was 9 weeks pregnant when she miscarried. I don't think she was 9. I just don't. But I still need a timeline because I don't believe that that was Paul's baby. May he rest in peace, he or she, whatever. You know, I feel really bad for them. So, you know, they're in the ultrasound room, everybody's crying. Paul don't know what they're saying. It was a mess. It was a chaotic mess. The doctor had no emotion. He was just like, oh, we can't find a heartbeat. Baby died. All right, get on up. Get on up out of that seat. You're done here. You can leave. You're done. Your baby's dead. I was like, sir, like, this is her first baby. She's a young girl. Can we have a little compassion? Like, that doctor was like, he sees miscarriages all day, every day, but he had no tenderness, no bedside manner at all. It was so harsh, so cold. Karine's just crying. I was just sitting there with my mouth hanging open. Like, I need a timeline because I really don't understand how we're watching Paul and Karine each week and months are elapsing in the time period. So how long ago were they filming? Like, were they filming 18 months ago? Because, well, if you don't like spoilers, then skip ahead and I'll try to put something in there to tell you when to skip ahead to. But we know that Karine is pregnant currently. Paul has posted pictures of her fully pregnant, stomach sticking out on his social media that people screenshotted, and then TLC apparently told him to take it down because they're not there anymore. I think his Instagram handle is Paul Jason Staley, and he has a weird last name. I think it's Staehle, and I'll try to put it up. But go follow him on Twitter. You won't see any Karine pregnancy posts like with her openly pregnant because that's a spoiler alert, and of course you can't do that to spoil the show. But Karine is pregnant right now. So I'm like, so she was pregnant for like 9 weeks according to the show. She had a miscarriage. And then however long it took for her body to heal, her and Paul got pregnant again. And now she's like probably like 7 months is pregnant. So I'm like, when was this filmed? Was this filmed in 2016? How has all this stuff happened in the matter of time for them to film season 2? I'm super confused by the timeline. I don't believe that it was a 9-week miscarriage. I believe that it was a 14-week miscarriage. I stand by that. I will need some hard evidence to change my mind. I don't think that that was Paul's baby. And, you know, it's kind of like nature's, you know, fix to this problem because, you know, I think that Karine was going to try to pass the baby off as Paul. She was kind of pushing him away. Her family was talking about, we don't really need you in the picture last week. Her mom was saying, we're going to raise this baby ourselves. We don't need you. You can leave. Like, who really says that to somebody, the father of somebody's child? They were saying that because they knew that wasn't Paul's baby. That's why they were telling Paul he could have went on. You can go. We got this. Like, who says that to somebody? I know you hate him, but still, who sits up in a man's face and says, we don't need you. You can go back to America. We'll raise this baby. I mean, he's trying. He's not that awful. And I just don't think that that was Paul's baby. And God bless the little baby. And God bless Karine, because I almost felt like I was intruding when I was watching the scene when she was getting the ultrasound and they could not find the heartbeat. I did not want to be there. I was like, oh no, 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 no. I don't want to be in here. Like, just put the message up on the screen, Karine and the doctor said the baby's heart couldn't find a heartbeat. I felt so just like I didn't belong in that scene. That was very personal and very hard. And I mean, I feel for her. That's a tough thing because, they said they had already picked out names. Oh, they'd already bought stuff. That threw me for a loop. I was not expecting that at all. At all. They got me with that one. I just was not expecting. I was thrown. That threw me, like, crossed the room. Like, I was so thrown. And it was a really tough thing to watch. It was a tough episode. And, oh God, poor Karine. Like, it's just tough. All the things that I've said about her put aside, that was tough to watch. And that was a rough episode. That's it for all of our couples. I'm sorry I had to end on such a dreary note, but it's not the end yet because I'm going to briefly discuss the 90-day live 1 hour special that occurred right after the episode. I'm literally going to take like 3 minutes, guys. It's not going to be long, so just stay tuned for that until the end. Okay, so we had a 90-day live special once again with the same host, Michelle Collins. I saw people on Twitter who were in an uproar that they picked Michelle Collins again after everybody said how much they didn't like her in the first 90-day live tell-all. Like I said the last time, I don't necessarily think that it's really Michelle's fault. I think it's the way they set up these 90-day lives that is just terrible, and they set Michelle up for failure. So I think that Michelle Collins is probably a good host. She's probably a great comedian, but they set these 90-day fiance lives up for her to be hated by the 90-day fiance community. I'm gonna just say that. So I don't totally put her to blame because she is not the person in control of the production. She just sits down and they give her cards and tell her what to say and what to ask. And she doesn't have any control over the timing, the lineup, who gets put on there. So I don't blame Michelle Collins completely because some things are just out of her control. God bless her for doing it again after people just clowned her so bad. But let me just start with how they had this set. So Michelle Collins got to be about 6'2", and they had her in these little bitty low to the ground chairs. I guess they were trying to make Darcy's sister Stacy feel comfortable because I think Stacy and Darcy are small women. And she looked scrunched up. Her legs were bunched up under that chair, honey. She got about some 44-inch long legs. She looked a mess. She looked like Will Ferrell in Elf, literally. And there is a meme going around showing when he was sitting on Papa Elf's lap. That's literally what she looked like. I did not appreciate the set. It looked small. It looked tight. She looked crunched and crowded. She looked a mess. But nevertheless, they had Stacy, Darcy's twin sister, on there. They had Stacy on there for a total of about 25 to 27 minutes. It's a 1 hour special. And you talked about Darcy and Jesse for almost 30 minutes. TLC, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. That is the couple that we have the least interest in, that we want to see go more than any other couple, probably except Marta and Daya. And you spent almost 30 minutes listening to Stacy talk about Darcy and Jesse and their love and how we don't care. We don't care not one blip about how Darcy feels because she kept going back to that man. So get her off of my TV. Right after Stacy went off, they had Abby. Yes, from Sean and Abby from the last season of Before the 90 Days, I believe, talking about her drama with Chris. Honey, Abby, girl, Abby, Scabby Abby. Honey, no, who wanted to know what was going on in Abby's life? So then they brought Abby on there. Abby gets up there and talks for a good 15 minutes. It is now 45 minutes into the 1 hour special, and we have yet to see Dean or Michael's friends. And I am shook because I'm like, so we're going to get the real tea that we stayed up an extra hour to get in 15 minutes. And that's including commercial breaks. So really, without commercials, it was really about 7.5 minutes of the tea that we really stayed up for. TLC, y'all got to do better. So they brought Dean out. Dean spilling all of Tariq's tea, honey. He was talking about you know, the threesomes, how what he was referring to when he asked Hazel, was she ready for Tariq in the bedroom? Supposedly Tariq likes group sex, he likes threesomes. Dean probably has joined in on some of them. Apparently they are some serious freaks, and I was like, we need to elaborate on this, but Michelle had to cut him short because we only had 6 minutes of showtime left, so we didn't even get the real tea with Dean. Then Michael's friends came on. She rushed them through, and they're Nigerian, and they're real calm and cool and laid back, and they're talking slow, and she's trying to get them to hurry up to talk about Angela and Michael. We didn't even get to hear that whole story. She was trying to be friendly and kiki with them, but she really didn't have time to elaborate on anything. Oh, I forgot they had Ricky's cousin, I forgot his name, and best friend. They Skyped her in, and he was actually there. They didn't talk to them very long, but I didn't really care about that anyway. I didn't care about them either. I don't care about Ricky, so I didn't care about either one of them. But it was once again a poorly produced, poorly timed, bad choice of guests, bad, like way too many people that we didn't need to see, and not enough of the people that we did want to see. Is TLC not listening to the viewers? Like, do we not have a voice? Because I feel like after I put on a show like this, I would go on Twitter and come to YouTube and watch people like me, or people like Wah or Chris or Auntie or whoever else does this, and hear their opinion and really try to make a change. It's like we did all that complaining the last time and they didn't change anything. It was just as bad as the first one. I really don't have much good to say about it. I was really unimpressed at the fact that the first 45 minutes consisted of Darcy and Jesse, Ricky and his cousins and his best friend, and she kind of rushed through them, and Abby, who is someone who isn't even on the show anymore, and she's not even with Chris or Sean. She's supposedly in college now. She want to be an independent woman. She's a survivor. She's not gonna give up. Okay, we don't care. So unimpressed with that. I felt like Abby could have went, and they could have did more time with Dean and Michael's friends, because that was really what we wanted to hear. It was a mess. Honestly, it was a mess from beginning to end, and I can't believe I actually stayed up an extra hour to watch it, but I did, because, you know, I have a duty to you to tell you what I think, and that's what I think. Trash, garbage, throw it away in the trash. Like, no, they don't need to do that anymore. If they're not gonna actually make improvements on it and listen to the viewers and the people who love 90 Day Fiance and watch faithfully every week, like, we are the reason why it's still on the show, and you're gonna keep giving us crap 90-day lives afterwards, don't worry about it. Or just give us an extra hour of the show. Like, give us deleted scenes, and just do something like that, you know, like the extended version. Just do that. Like, we don't need Michelle Collins. Girl, get your check, girl. Do you, girl. Like, if they call you again, do it again. I would too. I don't care how much people complain they hate it. They call me again, I'm getting another check. I don't blame you. But, you know, we just didn't need it. It just wasn't needed. It was terrible. So those are my thoughts on the tell-all. Those are my thoughts on today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter at NICHI_P_tweet, so you can see all my live tweets during the show as it airs in real time every Sunday night. Thank you so much for watching every single week, and I'll see you again next week in the recap. Bye.